Hello, YouTube gamers. This is Zero from Mobile Games, bringing you more Clash Royale. I am still doing my deck shuffle. I'm still trying to basically get a handle on what's happened post-patch. They did nerf Freeze, which is definitely a spell I use a lot. I was literally rotating to a spell deck, so they pretty much stabbed me as hard as they could. And, because of that, I had to try some things out. I'm very happy with some of the things I've tried out. The Fire Spirits and Skeleton changes are most of what I was excited for. The Witch and Skeleton is not nearly as good as I want it to be, and that's just me being cranky. The Fire Spirits, on the other hand, are very much attractive. I've got a replay that I played earlier in the day that was pretty attractive. Basically, the idea here is that I use Fire Spirits to murder hordes. It takes a little bit of setup, and so what we're going to focus on for this one is they've got 3 Musketeers, twice in this. The first time I do not use the Fire Spirits, the second time I most certainly do. And it's not just Fire Spirits, it's Fire Spirits in conjunction with ZAP. We'll see if we can get something nice out of this. I personally don't even remember how I dealt with this pack. I guess I just got nice with Tesla. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's a pretty okay way to deal with 3 Musketeers. But yeah, so there's the little Fire Spirits you saw right there. They're just rolling out. They're kind of like bowling balls. And quite honestly, I like them a lot. They do remind me of playing a spell. In their execution, they take a quote-unquote little bit of finesse, that's for sure. You have to be a little bit more careful with them. But all things considered, they're pretty nice. Their splash AoE range got increased a fair amount because, well, quite honestly, it wasn't big enough pre-patch. And let's see, I think they're about to start throwing out 3 Musketeer. Okay. And let's pause this real quick and knock it down to normal speed. Because I think we're about to see what we're looking for. Yeah, this is totally what we're looking for. So 3 Musketeers go out. Not surprisingly, I am not too happy about that. Knock this down to half speed. Because it's relatively quick, the release on the spells, or the spells in the unit. They get out this balloon, they've got just this massive horde on the left-hand side, and so what I do is I zap directly after deploying them. All of it dead. Like, that was a witch and that was skeletons in there too. It didn't get the balloon. Notice that. So it's not like it's perfect, but quite honestly, if it got all of that, like, obliterated all of that, why would you have any other spell? But without me doing that, because they were looking for targets, they would have just opened fire on them, and they're not very powerful as far as their toughness. They're pretty squishy. They usually take 2 hits from most units, 1 hit from more powerful units, and Musketeers are definitely on the more powerful end of things. Anyway, and then so thing number 2 that changed, which is pretty much 100% luck, because that's basically what it comes down to, is I managed to pick up an Ice Wizard. He's only level 1, but he works really, really well with the way I play, because he's basically plugged that hole that I tried to go through and plug for a very long time. I have a very large amount of difficulty with anti-air. I have a very large amount of difficulty with dealing with hordes. And so if it can deal with that, like, basically Minion Horde is, like, the worst thing you can put against me, because I just don't use the sorts of spells that take care of it quickly and efficiently. So the fact that you can pretty easily take those out with that is nice. I've got 2 decks right now that I'm tinkering with. This is my number 1 deck that I just showed you. It's got Fire Spirits, Ice Wizard, those are both new. Zap is nothing new, Tesla's nothing new. My entire bottom line, that's all I play with, basically. Like, it's almost impossible for me to not play with these characters, because I like them so much. And then my number 3 deck is basically my old spell deck, but I put in a Witch. That was supposed to be an Ice Wizard. It's probably a good idea. Actually, it's probably not a good idea. Let's just say we're not going to play with that one. Anyway, I was trying out Witch, as I said. My Witch is level 3. Quite honestly, when people have level 9 and level 10 Barbarians, I can't rely on a level 3 Witch to do anything. And I know that's rude and mean, but she costs 5, they cost 5. If I can't guarantee that she's going to counter with good defensive position, that is not attractive. That's far too much elixir not to be super effective. On the other hand, fire spirits cost 2. They blow up lots of things. My God, they blow up lots of things. We'll play some. Hopefully, you guys will get some good action on that. It'll be nice. I hit 2,700 playing with my number 1 deck. I do not guarantee you that we will get back up there because it's volatile. I have not honestly gotten used to this deck yet. I changed enough things, and there's enough new little strategies with it that I'm not 100% on board with everything that I do. I just sort of build off of what I've already known how to do. Like, one of the things I like about this deck is it definitely charges really well. Who would have thought? We're going to crush these. We've got ZAP. We'll see what they throw out at us. If it's not good enough... Oh, okay. So this will be interesting. Once again... Oh, wow. So those were lower level minions. I killed them pretty easily. We're going to throw these guys against Fire Spirits. We're going to throw Ice Wizard, and we're going to throw Goblins, because quite honestly, we need it. But... I mean, you guys saw the initial rush. They threw something big and clunky, and I just ran them I just ran them over. That's what I like about this deck. With an Ice Wizard to start from the very back, it gives you enough time to wind up for a Dark Prince, a pack, a mini pack, I should say, a Hog Rider. Something is the point there. Something that you can throw there, and then throw two of those 3 that I just mentioned. It's a pretty legitimate push. It'll mess some stuff up, quite honestly. Bad ZAP there. I apologize for wasting you guys' time with that crappy gameplay. And as you can see, those little fire spirits can't get to the towers by themselves. This should all be probably information you guys all know, but I'm just saying, like, you use them to blow stuff up. If they're not going to do that, do not just throw them haphazardly, because they're not nearly as good as lots of units. Just, like, basically catch and release. They're not just going to go win the game for you because you put them down. And it just happens to be the right configuration. You have to be pretty purposeful with it, to be quite honest. Well, this is going to be fun. So, Ice Wizard here. We're going to throw, basically, Dark Prince because I want him to deal with all the BS that's coming out of this pipe. As soon as this goes down, it's going to blow up, but I don't honestly think that these are a good choice here. No, I only got one of those fire spirits even went up against those pups. That was mostly trial. There's not a lot of those guys running around, so if I can actually fight against something and test it out without getting my face wrecked in, this is kind of an attractive plus. Throwing the Tesla down right now, even though I probably know I need it for that Lava Hound, is not a smart choice, but as I said, I'm trying to basically see what we get. If we try out some things in bad situations, it's not necessarily the worst possible case scenario. Oh yeah, so this is probably going to go my way. We can just zap that because I want the damage on it. And we'll throw this out. Boop, boop, boop. Ice Wizard will slow him down. Ice Wizard is amazing. We didn't 3-crown, but we almost 3-crowned. I 3-crowned a fair amount with this, because it's very possible that you just wipe the other team's troops really hard. And I already have basically what I call a fight deck, like a charge deck, a rush deck, whichever you want to call it. I very much go offensive. I'm really looking for that sort of thing. My deck works pretty well against Royal Giant, which is nice because we all know Royal Giant is very much flavor of the month. I got no problem with that. One of the things I don't like about Royal Giant being flavor of the month is that it means that there's probably Fireball used more often, and there's probably Barbarians used more often. And so I was not doing well against those Barbarians. Overlevel Barbarians were basically the thorn in my heel. More often than not, it skewed my matches in ways where it was no longer about whether or not I was playing well. It's that their cards were basically crushing my cards because they were, an extra 200 HP, 300 HP total that I had to cut through, and I just couldn't do it. So as I said, Fire Spirits is what I went to. Fire Spirits will be the next upgrade after I get my Hog Rider up. Fire Spirits are really good, honestly. Like, give them a try. They're much better than they were pre-patch. Big time. I would definitely encourage giving that a try. Let's see what we got here. Okay, and then King saying, "Why is Clash Royale moving in slow motion?" Tell me if the quality of this is garbage. I can reset some settings. I tinkered with some things this morning. But yeah. So please, by all means, tell me if that's the case. But yeah, let's do some more. That was an oddball. As I said, Lava Hound. I haven't seen an awful lot of Lava Hound. I've seen plenty of Sparkies. They hurt. They're mean. People throw up that giant meat shield in front of them, and quite honestly, I don't know of anything that's really extremely good against Sparky other than having like barbarians to throw on top of them. And I'm not really big on playing barbarians. Oh God. So, let's see here. We can throw you in the back. After they blow up my Tesla, are they going to get my wizard? We'll find out. Oh, this is terrible. Okay. So that was well enough. That didn't hurt nearly as bad as plenty of the Sparkies that I've had. They didn't have a tank in front of that. That's a bad choice. That's all I'm saying. I don't remember how expensive Sparky is, but quite honestly, it's not worth throwing whatever elixir he does cost at that sort of a charge. So, I mean, good for me and all. Look, who would have thought with Ice Wizard slowing everything down, Hog Rider lives forever, murders all the towers. Basically just throws up, like, the middle finger to everybody who gets in his way, which is exactly how I want it. So I'm not complaining. We are going to save some cards. If they throw a Sparky behind this, I want to murder it instead of give it the chance to live. And in fact, I probably shouldn't have thrown ZAP like that because we probably, as I said, we probably need it for Sparky. I'm not going to tell you he's, like, the hardest thing to counter ever, but, man, he sure is kind of a pain in the butt some days. They beat double Rider combo. This isn't ideal. That's going to basically blow me up. Still got decent damage off of it, though. That's the crazy part. Oh, God. Okay, let's see here. So, we're going to throw this. He didn't get my tower, thank frickin' God. We're going to zap, and I do it too late. So, the title that came up made it so I couldn't see how many rings it was, and I didn't want to throw it too early, but clearly I just got bashed in the face for being too stingy about how ideal I wanted my timing. It probably would have just killed it anyway, is quite honestly the point. I'm going to throw this in the back. I haven't really shown you like a good solid charge with these guys going on. 1, 2, 3... shock, and yeah, if you zap him, Sparky's not so bad, but if you can't get any sort of actual like interruption on him, he wrecks. Like, he wrecks face hard. He is definitely a card after my own heart. I would be more than happy to play with Sparky. I definitely got beat by him like several in a row this morning and got super cranky about it, but quite honestly, as I said, if I had it, I'd like it. As a legendary card, that does sort of give the emphasis. I'm not saying that it's an unfair and unbalanced card, but there's nothing else in the game even remotely like it, so, it certainly is game-changing. It's just how you counter it is up to you. And as I said, I'm sure somebody's got way better ways to counter it, but with what I've got in my deck, it's basically about not letting them overrun you. Spawner decks are a problem. I've noticed more so and more, and quite honestly, spawner deck with like a Sparky behind it sucks, like super hard. Honestly, I don't know when the gold resets. I was playing this morning, like pretty early, and I hit my cap, and like what I thought was the cap went by. It was not the case. Ooh, look at that double zap. Anyway, we'll throw a Hog Rider out. Probably won't get anywhere. As soon as we see what they play against, it's much more possible we play Fire Spirits. Fire Spirits are great when you're doing this sort of a charge because they cost so little. And you're really intending them to murder something, so it's not really a big deal if they get blown up. Because that was pretty much your point of playing them to begin with. I think that's one of the reasons why I like them so much. Is that you just go, yeah, no, I was going to use him that way anyway. Ooh, good zap, good zap. Okay, so that definitely stopped me there. We can throw Spear Goblins, why not? And Ice Wizard behind them won't do that much. He's just kind of fun to get on the field. I'm a big fan of Ice Wizard. I know he doesn't do excessive amounts of damage. I'm not looking for him to do excessive amounts of damage. Mini Peck does, like, extremely high damage. Against towers, quite honestly, Hog Rider's in the mid to high tier. And, you know, Dark Prince is basically middle tier, with the capacity to go slightly higher with a good charge behind him. So, you know, I've got damage on this team. It's just, you know, it's getting it to there, basically. They got another good zap on me. I'm not learning very quick. And I'm not playing all that great against this anyway, but that's fine. Getting to show off these guys a little bit would be nice. And, you know, getting wins would be nice too. I mean, they're certainly not getting across the line. I'm not like, oh my god, I'm losing miserably. I just don't want to draw this match. We'll see what basically the 1 minute mark reaches. Oh man, he is going to die super hard. Okay, you should go there. And that's really bad because that's way too far, and I misclicked like crazy. They're not amazing for killing Hog Rider. I figured if I'm going down anywhere, might as well give you guys that. As I said, I could have thrown goblins and it would have been more effective than that. That's not too much of a surprise. They're throwing down basically their pump. They think they got this in the bag and they want to be able to defend. We're going to throw Fire Spirits for some added oomph. God, they zap everything, apparently. Which is, you know, reasonable. Just annoying. And then we're going to keep throwing back up. They really want to clog this pipe. Good for them. They use Dark Prince. I totally acknowledge that. It's a good thing to do. That is totally a tactic that will work. And then more Fire Spirits. They'll probably zap those too. God, so much zap. He just doesn't want them to live. And by that, I mean he clearly doesn't want me to take a tower because he already got his because I flubbed it super hard. Anyway, hopefully that helps with limitations. As I said, Fire Spirits, they're not so good against big bulky units, but against hordes, 3 musketeers, basically any, and they can even use against minion hordes because they can jump into the sky, which basically makes them one of my favorite ideas ever. Like, that's just awesome that they can just jump into the air and blow shit up. Wow. Mike says no learning for you. Oh, that's no good. But I want to be up with the cool kids, be in Legendary Arena, and be super fancy. So we got the opening that we want, and I say that because I would much rather run people over than wait around and play